Hello again, and welcome to this webinar about field data collection made easy with RSLog. My name is Alireza Afkhami, and product manager of RSLog. In the first part of this webinar, we are going to give you a brief introduction to RSLog and its features. And then in the second part, my colleague Sarah, who is one of our RSLog developers, is going to demo our OnSite app, which is for field data collection. And thanks again for joining us. I'm sure most of you are familiar already with rock science. For the past 25 years, we've been the pioneer in developing geotechnical products. The last product that we added to our collection of programs at Rock Science is RSLog. The headquarters of company is in Toronto, and we have different offices in many other countries serving our users and providing customer support. The collection of our programs as Rock Science includes 19 programs covering soil and rock, different types of analyses, 2D and 3D. And we are always customer-centric in a sense that the new features and improvements and everything is mainly based on your feedback and your feature request. So keep communicating with us, please. Share with us what you're looking for and what features you need in the programs. Those of you who worked with me in the past 2 years with regards to RSLog and improvements and adding features, you see that we value your input very much. And we are always in the forefront of engineering analyses and implementing new methodologies, innovating new type of analyses and calculation methodologies. Now, looking at the collection of rock science programs, we have anything from a slope stability, you're familiar with slide, and then all the way to finite element analysis, pile design, settlement and deformation analysis. And here, RSLog is the latest product added. The first version of RSLog came out in February 2022. And since then, we've been adding more and more features to it. In terms of the ecosystem of rock science products, programs talk to each other and share data. So the way it works, maybe one program does the analysis, and then from that point, another program can be taking up what that program finished and just do another type of analysis. With RSLog, we've integrated it with the slide and settle. And what it means is if you have your borehole data in RSLog, you don't need to redo and do the data entry again in settle and slide. You can just spend a few seconds and bring that data directly into settle. With regards to slide, if you design a cross-section in RSLog, you can bring the same cross-section in a slide. That's a huge time saver if you have your data in RSLog. An overview of RSLog major components. On the left, you see OnSite mobile app. So this is an app for iOS and Android, and it works online and offline. So I want to emphasize on that. You don't need internet connection. The first time that you log in, you need internet connection to download your settings, essentially your RSLog settings. But beyond that, you can use the application offline, and when you're ready, you can sync the data. Sarah is going to expand on all the features that comes with OnSite. And then we have integrations that we talked about. And then in terms of the web app itself, we have different ways of data entry for projects and TESOL and cross-section and lab test. And then we have import from GINT, import from Dix, and other types of import. Import from CSV is available on every single page of RSLog. Essentially, when you have a table, you can import data from CSV, and you can also export it to CSV, Excel, PDF, and so on. We also export to Civil 3D and DXF. So if you have your cross-section designed using RSLog, then you can easily export to Google Earth or DXF. Different reporting features in RSLog. It's not just the borehole logging. Borehole logging is one of the basic features in RSLog. We also have GIS map. You can export your data in different formats from JSON and CSV and everything. And we also have a project summary report where you can get a summary of all list of your boreholes and groundwater measurements and some select field tests or lab tests if you want. And then tools, obviously, to design your borehole log templates, and user management is completely done in RSLog, so you don't need to ask us to add a user or remove a user. You can do it easily yourself. A lot of customizations on the settings page. One thing to mention about user management is that the access level of each user can be defined by you. So if you want to block the access of, say, your junior engineers to a log template design, just to make sure that a borehole log template that you made won't be accidentally deleted or changed, then you can block some users' access to different pages. You can find more information about all this in RSLog documentation. We have a very comprehensive documentation website. There is a question mark or help button at the top right of all pages where you can directly go to the documentation for that page. Okay, so let's see why switch to RSLog. The first thing is great cost saving. And I don't want to go to the story of, okay, each data entry, typically turning your field notes to any program will take about half an hour, 45 minutes. That's a basic. Any computer program is going to have that. But I just mentioned that currently we are running a promotion where you can get up to 50% if you purchase more than anything between 5 to 10 licenses or more. Flexible licensing. So RSLog license is not tied to a specific computer. And what it means is you can log in on your laptop at work, and then when you're home, you can use your personal computer to access your data. If you're on vacation, you can use your iPad if you want to work. So from anywhere at any time, pretty much you can access your data. We have a centralized database. So those of you especially using GIMS in the past for borehole logging, you know that each project will have its own GIMS file. And this is a problem, especially over the years. If you had, say, 800 projects, you would have 800 separate GIMS files. But now with the centralized database, all your data in RSLog is in one database. So all projects, all boreholes. What are the advantages of that? Well, the first thing is that you can see all your boreholes on a GIS map, all the projects on a GIS map. And then you can run different search queries. For example, you're looking for, in a specific area, you're looking for all boreholes with clay layer thicker than 1 meter, or some lab test data or SPT data. So these are all the advantages of a centralized database for your boreholes. There's no limit on number of boreholes. And then we have a lot of customization. It's not just a borehole log template. All the lookup lists, such as sample types, drilling methods, piezometer types, or even field tests. Like, you can add your own field tests. You can even specify how many columns each field test is going to have. And then documentation. We talked about the comprehensive documentation that we have. So you can absolutely look at RSLog as a very good replacement to switch from Gint or any other products. And if you need a demo or more information, you can always contact us directly, and we will be more than happy to sit down with you. Now, let's see how RSLog can help you during different phases of the project. And after this, I'll pass presentation to Sarah for OnSite App. These are just some screenshots. So during planning, we have a feature called pre-investigation planner. So the idea with pre-investigation planner is that before going to the site for your next site investigation, you can create a project in RSLog, and you can start creating a list of your proposed boreholes. So these are like, the depths of the borehole, the location. You can assign it to different field engineers, what type of sampling or field test you want to do on each borehole, whether you need a piezometer or no. So this is like a list or kind of like a note for yourself or for your team before going to the site, so that when you go to site, you can just pick up the OnSite app and say, start drilling for the first borehole. So this is going to help you to keep the integrity of your proposed boreholes and their locations, and just an easier data entry for you. The data entry in RSLog can be done in different ways. Obviously, OnSite App is one of them. Or you can just log in. Say if you have your field notes and you want to turn them to a borehole log, then you can just log in into RSLog and start doing data entry. As you see, we have different tabs here, like in general tab, coordinates and borehole depths and borehole types and who logged it, who did the data entry, who reviewed it, and so on. Then you have list of samples and field tests and stratigraphy, depth-related comments. If you drill into rock or do coring, then drill runs and discontinuities, piezometer installation, any type of measurements, like borehole diameter measurements. All these could be entered in RSLog. Remember, RSLog is going to be the central hub for your borehole data. So borehole data includes field tests, any lab tests, any type of test and measurements done inside the borehole. And then you can generate your borehole logs. We have a lot of features for you in our log template designer. Different types of graphs could be showing only one parameter, or maybe you want to overlay SPT data on pocket pan, on moisture, or you want to show a graph, show liquid limit and plastic limit. There are a lot of features that are waiting for you to design your own borehole log template. The hatch patterns could be in black and white, or it could be in color. You can set the colors in on the settings page. Another thing to mention is that we are adding a feature to RSLog in the next few weeks, so that you can upload your own hatch pattern. So if you want to create a new one, it's very easy with RSLog. We already have close to 250 different hatch patterns by default included in RSLog. This is a screenshot of your log template designer, where you can design the header and footer of your template. The idea is you just drag and drop different types of elements and shapes from the toolbar onto the header or footer area. You can just move them around very easily, resize them, and just come to this property grid on the left, change the font size and alignment and colors and all that. It's very easy to use. It's very easy to link a label to your borehole data or project data. In this example, this label is linked to borehole description or notes. You can click on project and make it project title. So from that point on, this is going to show you the project title. It's very easy to make changes, upload your own logo and so on. One of the features that I want to quickly share with you is our visualization feature called Cross-Section Designer. So with Cross-Section Designer, remember you already entered the borehole locations and all the soil and rock layers and the test data. The idea is that on the plan view, you are going to draw the cross-section on plan, and this could go through your boreholes, or it could have some distance from the borehole. You can go in between the boreholes. And what we do, we automatically project those boreholes onto the center line of the cross-section. We calculate the offset, we calculate the distance from the beginning of the cross-section. And then what you do in the next phase, you switch to the profile view, and we show you the stick logs of all boreholes that participate in this cross-section. And as you see in this example, all the groundwater levels and different soil layers, even SVT data is shown. You can select one lab test or field test to show it on the left, and another one on the right side of the borehole. There is a lot of flexibility and a lot of features to explore on this cross-section designer, and then you just start creating your cross-section very quickly just by clicking on the layers. You don't even need to spend too much time and draw each of them as separate polygons. We have very good features here to save time for you. And then you can design a lens. You can connect layers. You can shape them however you want in between the boreholes. You can add question marks to some layers. In this example, you see some question marks. Again, there are a lot of features, a lot of things to turn on, turn off for each of these. We have hatch pattern, which is this one, and then you can switch to solid colors if you want. And then once you're happy with your cross-section design, you can easily export it to DXF. You can also export it to Google Earth. So the whole thing will be like in 3D, will be shown in Google Earth, plus, the image format and like SVG and PNG and so on. And when you're ready, you can go to the 3D version or 3D mode. And in 3D mode, you will see all your boreholes and cross-sections, and even the terrain model based on the LiDAR data. We bring all of that into 3D for you. For those of you who work with different DOTs in the US and you want to have the log of test boring, which is a summary of your boreholes in the construction drawings, we are working on a feature that exports the log of test boring for all of your project boreholes into DXF. So the only thing you need to do is to just open that DXF and copy the boreholes that you want with all their soil layers and test results and everything into your drawings. We have a very powerful GIS system. With the GIS system, you can see the location of boreholes and projects. We recently added some geology maps, mainly from USGS website. And then also we are working on adding more public boreholes. And these are collected by GeoSeta from different DOTs. These are public boreholes. We currently have 100,000 of them. We are going to expand it to over 200,000 in the next months or so. And then I want to talk about data exchange. So we talked about import from GINT and VIX. We have several import and export features here. For example, you see here that you can export to Civil 3D. We have our own JSON format that you can use for import and export. Even shapefiles could be imported into the cross-section designer or to the GIS map. Many different types of import and export. And that guarantees that if you're working with another analysis program and you want to export data, let's say you want to send your SPT data for liquefaction analyses or some other data to help you with your pile bearing capacity analysis. So it's just one click away. The data entry methods, we talked about logging into RSLog as a web app and doing data entry. We also have Excel data entry. So these are RSLog Excel templates that you can download from your RSLog account. and you can do the data entry, especially if you're offline. And this was essentially added to RSLog before OnSite App, so that you could do offline data entry. But now with the OnSite App, I think you may want to, those of you who are using Excel data entry, you may want to use OnSite. Now with the OnSite, this diagram shows you how you can use it for data entry, collaboration. So each of the field engineer, let's say you have 2 field engineers working on this project. They could be working on the same project, or they could be working on different projects. But the way it works is that each of these field engineers are collecting data in OnSite. And from time to time, they sync data to your RSLog account. And Sarah is going to talk about syncing. You can do kind of real-time syncing, or you can do it like every 5 minutes, or depending on the progress of the borehole, say at the end of each borehole, for example. But here's the beauty of it. Once the data is entered, then the project manager or anyone else logging into RSLog, they can see the latest data. They just need to refresh the page, see the project progress. We even have some tools for project tracking and project monitoring in RSLog. And this way you can see how the site investigation is going. They can share their data before terminating a borehole, which is in a lot of cases very important. If you have a piling project, you don't want to end the borehole in soft clay, for example, right? You may want to go another 10 feet or 15 feet. So all of these could be done by easily sharing the data, the latest data with you. Okay. And with this, I pass the presentation to Sarah for the demo of the OnSite app.
So I'll just be going over RSLog OnSite and doing a quick demo to showcase the main features and the workflow of the app. So currently, I am on the OnSite app on an Android device, and it's currently available in at the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store for download in iOS or Android. So once you've downloaded the app, it's free to download, but you need to log in with your RSLog account. So you can see here I've logged in, and this is what the overall app looks like. So you have the home page and settings, but then where you enter the data is the projects and test tools page. So when you log in for the first time after downloading it, there will be no projects on the device. So you'll need to either create projects new from the app, or you can import them from your RSLog account. And the reason that we do it like this is because your apps won't be cluttered with all the projects in your account. You'll just be able to see the specific projects that you want to see and you're currently working on. So you can see here in the list of recent projects, I have a few projects already on the app. And then as well, in the top left, you can see the active project, which is RSLog sample project. And at the top as well, you can see the title of that active project. And then another thing to note here is this online-offline badge in the top left. So that just indicates whether your device has internet or not. And the device will work either online or offline, and you can do all your data entry offline. There are just a few things you need to be online for. So initially, when you log in, you need to be online to download all your settings from your RSLog account. So since you can customize them on your account, you're going to need to download them from that account before you can use the app. As well, you need to be online to import new projects or sync your projects. So now if we move to the projects page, you can see a list of projects that exist on your app. And if you click a project, you just open this card that shows you a little bit more information about each project. If you move to the map page, you can also see all your projects on a map. So if we go back to the list page, the top left is where you either create new projects on the device, which you don't need internet for, or import projects, which you do need internet for. So this pulls all your projects from RSLog, and you can sort by status of the project, and then you can choose which ones you want to import. So if you want to edit a specific project, you can click this button on the right of each project card, the edit button. The edit page will show you all the input information on the left, and then it shows you a map on the right. So you can select the location of your project on the map, either by entering it in these input boxes, using your current location, or dragging the marker on the map. And if you'd like to expand the map, you can do that as well. So the input information on the left is just all the exact same information as the RSLog account. And once you enter all the information, it's automatically saved. You don't need to press the save button again. And this just ensures that there's no risk of losing your data if something happens or you forget to press save. So once you're done inputting all your information, you just click go back. So at this stage, if you want to edit the test tools for a specific project, you can select the test tools button at the bottom tab, or you can select the test tools button on each project card, which activates the project and then brings you to the test tools page. So this is very similar to the project list page. You just have a list of test tools here, and then you can also see them on the map as well. So one other thing to note on this page is the project status list here and the planning modal right there. So if you open the planning modal, it's the pre-investigation planner, which exists in RSLog as well. So essentially the purpose of this is when you're in the office before you get to the field, you can plan out the boreholes in terms of where you want them and specific information. And then when you're in the field, you can click a specific borehole you plan, which creates it and then activates it. And that's when you start drilling, essentially. So then if you go back to the test tools page as well, you can see this completed progress bar, and that just shows you the status. So you can track how many of your test tools are active, how many are in progress, how many are completed. And another thing to note as well is I'm currently in landscape mode for this app, but you can also move it to profile view just in case you have specific information or you like it in this specific format. So that's also an option as well. If you want to edit the information for a specific test tool, you just need to click the card and then it opens this page. So this page is designed exactly like RSLog. So you have these tabs at the top and then you have the input below. So the general page has all of the inputs that the RSLog general page has, and then it also has the map to choose the location of your test tool. So you can go to locations as well. You have this accordion to input all your information. So then if we move to a different page, like groundwater, you get groundwater in 3 methods here. So you can see the piezometer well information here, and then you could also see groundwater monitoring. And this is just to record any groundwater information you have while you're drilling. So if we move to the samples page, it looks very similar to the past page. It has this table here with all your soil information. And this is what the majority of the pages look like. You have a table with all your information, and then you can select entries of the table to delete. You can also copy entries of the table or edit. So if you edit, you just click the button on the right there. And this brings you to a page with all the input fields that are exactly the same as RSLog. So you can change any of the data here. So when you're done, since everything's automatically saved, you just need to click go back. So if we move to the field test page, you just have the test type, which you can select, and then all the test type information here as well. And if you want to edit, again, you click the edit, and then you get this input page where you can enter all your information. So this as well, since there is a lot of information with this specific test type, you can also turn the page here just to get a bit of a better view to see everything. So if we move to the stratigraphy tab, you have all your layers here, and then you can select specific ones to view all the information and edit here as well. And then when you're done, click go back. As well for the comments, you can enter specific comments at specific depths. So you can create a new one here or edit existing ones. So the rest of the pages look very, very similar, just with the table and all your information here. So since everything is automatically saved, you can just click one of the tabs at the bottom and you're done, and everything's done. So this is the settings page, and there are a few things I'd like to highlight on this page. The first one is the update settings button. So since the settings are very customizable, if you make any changes on RSLog in the settings that you want to reflect in the app, you just click the update settings button and that will pull all the settings. On the left, you have the backup and restore feature. So this is a feature where every 5 minutes when you're on the app, regardless of internet or not, it backs up all your information to the device. This just ensures that if anything happens with the app or if there's any crash or anything occurs, you have a backup of all your information. So you can either access the backup file yourself, or you can just automatically restore the data into the app. So there's no chance of you losing your data, essentially. So the next feature is the automatic sync. So currently, if it's off, you have to sync every project manually and just push that project by project. But if you turn auto sync on, when you have internet, every 5 minutes, all your project information will be automatically pushed to RSLog. So you don't have to worry about syncing your information. So now if we move back to the project page, this is where we have that sync button. So it's available for each project. And when you open that, you see the changes both on the on-site side and the RSLog website. So you can choose to select specific information that you want to sync, and that'll pull your changes and then push them to RSLog. So it's very customizable in terms of the amount of information that you have available to sync. So then when all of your information is entered and complete, you can also create borehole logs with RSLog. So this is an example of a log created by RSLog for this specific test hole that we were looking at. So both the header and footer are customizable, and then you can also customize the exact columns you want. So that's just an overview of RSLog OnSite, and I'll give it back to Alireza to continue on.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for showing us a demo of the OnSite app. Before wrapping up this webinar, I just want to share something with you that is coming to RSLog. So a lot of us have, especially like the large companies or the companies like DOTs or large infrastructure owners like dams and bridges. Like in the United States alone, there are more than 90,000 dams and 600,000 bridges of different types, and over 50% of these infrastructures, they are older than 50 years. So just imagine what it means is that the site investigation for these structures are done about 50 years ago or older, and all these borehole records are available just in paper format, and some DOTs or project owners, they have scanned them into PDF. So the idea with this new very exciting features that we are just finalizing is that you can upload the PDF files of your borehole logs, and this could be handwritten, this could be something from 1970s, 1980s. We use AI to go through the template of each page. We automatically detect the templates. We separate the like different components of data, such as being the depth related data like samples or SPT data or stratigraphy. These major data that you want to know about a borehole location, depths, coordinates, what drilling method was used for that borehole. So all part of this data will be automatically detected, and part of it the user will have a contribution and say, okay, investigation date is here, or borehole elevation is here. And once you finalize the template, then you just keep uploading more and more PDF files into RSLog, and we save it. We essentially extract data and we save it in your RSLog database. No one else can access. It's just your data, your projects. And as soon as the data is extracted, and that's the beauty of a centralized database, they will show up on your GIS map. And in the future, we will be working on a feature to allow you to bring them even into your cross-section design. right? When the data is there, you can generate modern-looking borehole logs based on the same data. And this is going to save a huge amount of time for those consultants who are working on dams or old bridges, for example, without the need to manually extract data, which is in some cases just impossible or very costly. So this feature, towards the end of June, you will hear from us. If you are interested and excited as much as we are at Rock Science, you can share some of your old borehole logs with us, and that way we can test the application just to see how much of your historic borehole logs could be revived and extracted, and then we'll be more than happy to offer you a discount for helping us with those example files. So please email those to demo@rslog@rockscience.com, and we'll get in touch with you. If you want a demo of this feature, please let us know. RSLog has a lot of more features coming, and some features we didn't have time to talk about it today, like project transfer to DOT. So different types of customizations that you can do. Feel free, email us, demo@rslog@rockscience.com, and we can quickly set up a meeting with you. The next webinar in this series is called Designing Cross-Sections and 3D Visualization in RSLog. It's been scheduled for July 30th, so make sure that you attend that webinar. In the meanwhile, if there was any question, we will be happy to answer. Please keep in touch and email us. We'll be in touch with you. Once again, thanks very much for your time, and thank you, Sarah, for a great presentation. See you in the next webinar.